Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews featuring Barry from All the Beer, No
Hey.
Idea. What's
Thank
going
you very
on,
much
man?
for having me on. Hello, everyone.
Yep, and we're drinking and reviewing a beer from your neck of the woods. Well, actually, I don't know how close this is to you, but it's
I don't
as
know
far as I
myself.
know. Is this the only English Trappist monastery, or are there others?
I know it's definitely the only Trappist brewery, so
Okay.
I'm pretty. It probably is, to be honest.
Okay. Well, this beer is called Tynt Meadow English Trappist Ale, strong ale brewed by the monks of Mount St. Bernard Abbey, Charnwood Forest, 7.4 ABV. I have a 330 ml bottle, and it says it's good for 2 more years, August 8th of next year, or 2026. Yeah, so I poured it into the stemmed tulip glass, and it definitely looks like a Trappist ale. It's got that kind of burgundy mahogany color, kind of looks like a Belgian double or quad. It's got a bit of a haze to it, and I get about 2-3 fingers of I probably call it like a beige tan foam.
Yeah, mine big, wider glass, I think. So the head has gone in a little bit, but color-wise, exactly the same as you'd expect.
Do you see carbonation in yours? I don't.
I certainly don't.
I tried to pour. This is bottle condition, right? So I left the as much yeast in the bottle as I could. Still a little cloudy.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I normally swill my glass round to get everything in it. On this occasion, I forgot.
I kind of do like drink it without the yeast, and then at the end I'll add the yeast and see what different. Usually the yeast just makes it dry and bitter, so I don't really see much to be gained by adding the yeast. But anyway, let's get our sniffers in here, as Scott would say. You know?
That's it. Get the nose in.
Wow, that's really fruity.
Yeah, real dark fruits. Raisin.
Yeah, I was gonna say prune or raisin. It's also a little chocolatey.
I tend to pick up sort of aniseed and licorice sort of feel in the beer.
Yeah, I can see that.
And yeah, like you say, a little bit of chocolate, almost caramel as well, I think.
Yeah. But to me, it's more fruity than it is like confectionery or whatever, you know?
Yeah, you get that dark fruit note in there, I think.
I bet a lot of that is just from the yeast. Or probably all of it.
But it smells lovely. It smells lovely.
I'm not sure if they use candy sugar in here like the Belgians do. So
I'm not sure either, to be honest.
Well, that might explain the color. We're rambling here. Let's get into our beers. Cheers, man.
Cheers, Chad.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Wow. Okay.
That's divine.
Yeah, it tastes kind of backwards from the aroma. Because on the aroma, I was saying it smells very fruity, like with a little bit of confectionery notes.
Yeah.
But the taste to me is the other way around. It's very chocolatey, caramel, malty, but then it kind of finishes like raisin prune.
Exactly what I was going to add then. For me, it's sort of sweeter on the front, and then them dark fruit notes sort of come in later in the back. And the carbonation in it is beautiful.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I agree. It's got a little bit of like a zest or a zip to it. Like a little, like a tiny little bit subtle, some kind of a spiciness. Kind of like, I mean, you said on the nose, like star anise, like a black licorice or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I feel. And actually now, on the back of the taste buds now, that's what it's lining my mouth with, is licorice. Real strong. Once everything else has gone for me. But it's fantastic, that is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what this reminds me of, because I went into this thinking it was going to be like you had like Fuller's 1845 or whatever that one is. Like that's more that's like a big fruity beer. This is like so confectionery tasting. It almost tastes like they put syrups in this, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get the feel like you picked up on chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if there's a feel of like, you know, and I was saying sort of like caramel notes on the nose and that. It's almost
right.
a little cinnamon feel, I think, in there as well.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. That's like a pretty
With the
fresh.
sweetness.
It's some kind of yeast phenolic, like a good one, you know. Like something you get like in a Weizenbach, like almost like a slightly clove kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, it's funny. You know what it reminds me of is a pumpkin beer. Well, don't get me. This tastes nothing like a pumpkin beer. It's just kind of that particular spice. I'm saying is reminiscent.
I mean, for me being English,
mm-hmm.
to have something like this that's come out the UK
mm-hmm.
and is as good as this is, makes you proud to be English.
Yeah. I would say, like, if I was drinking this blind, I don't think I would pick it up as an English beer. To me, it seems, I mean, I would probably just like assume Belgian, you know?
Yeah, I think they've nailed what they're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you said, I would think this is Belgium, is a massive compliment.
Yeah.
To what they've done with it. Because to match a Belgian beer at their own sort of game, that takes some doing.
The one thing it doesn't have that most Belgians have is like some kind of banana kind of yeast ester. Like this one is much sweeter. I don't think, like we kind of mentioned on the nose, like, is there Belgian candy syrup in this? I don't think there is, because like I don't tend to get chocolate and caramel and toffee out of the candy syrup. It usually, like, that's usually just all prune, fig, date, raisin, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna add the bottom of the bottle here and see what happens.
You'll have to tell me what it's like, because I just went straight in. I ruined it. I ruined my beer.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes the head kind of creamier, although it makes the body a very muddy.
Yeah.
It's a little less. Actually, I think it's a little less complex now. It's like a little drier and a little bit more bitter. Not like an extreme amount, but just like I notice, like somebody who's not a beer nerd might not notice, but
yeah.
How would you describe the body and mouthfeel on this one?
The mouthfeel, I think, is fantastic. I think that carbonation with the small bubbles give it a real softness, and it's dead smooth. Most times, I think when you get a beer that's quite busy in the mouth, it can be a bit, you know, if you're like drinking a lager, they tend to be busy and they're rough and they're aggressive. This is just so smooth. The body's, I mean, weight-wise, it's a good body, but you'd probably call it medium.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's not particularly heavy.
Exactly. It's 7.4 ABV, so like that's strong, but it's not ridiculously strong, you know. It's funny because like I was thinking exactly what you just said. I'm like, this is like medium body, probably about moderate carbonation, but also the actual texture is somewhere between smooth and straight up creamy. Like, it actually kind of reminds me of like an oatmeal stout.
It's got, this is why I think this beer is so good. It's got the carbonation of a Belgian beer.
Yeah.
And again, I don't, it's rare, you know, when Belgians do a beer like this and the carbonation's soft, the mouthfeel is always sort of creamy and smooth. And I think they've nailed it with that. Like you say, the body's a little bit lighter, but I actually don't think that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing in a way because it makes it extremely drinkable. Yeah. It's the sort of beer I think you could sink quite a few of these.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I want another one right now.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be, I mean, I'm doing this at, what time is it? It's not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. And,
you got to be a bit
to do today, you know. If it was 10 o'clock at night, then it might be a different story. But
yeah.
I gotta say I'm really surprised and impressed by this one. I mean, I thought it was gonna be, you know, good to very good, but I might go as far as to say like this is excellent to world class. Like I am thinking on a scale of 1 to 10, at worst 9, at best 10. What are you?
Yeah, thinking? I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd say at worst 8.5. Like you say, you could easily compare that, put that up against pretty much any Belgium double for sure, and I don't think you'd know which one was which, unless of course you've had them both. But I think taste-wise and that, you'd go, that's up there.
I mean, if I had like one criticism, it would be just like, from like a consumer point of view, you know, like this is clearly English beer, and like to me, it doesn't drink like an English beer. Like as far as like usually when I think English, I think like ringwood yeast, so it's like a little buttery or something.
Right.
Or if it's going to be like straight up Trappist style. But again, the British strong ale style is like such a huge umbrella style. But I do like the chocolate notes, the sweetness. It might actually be a little too sweet if I'm honest, because we didn't mention hops at all on this one. I would like a little bit more balance, but otherwise, I'm going to go 9.5. It's definitely one of the best beers I've had this year. It's not perfect, but it's really close.
I mean, you say about the British ale thing, it's such a wide thing. I wouldn't even put this in the same category as British ales.
Mm-hmm.
It's Trappist all the way for me. It screams Belgium, and you know, it's a fantastic beer. And like I said, worst, you'd be hard pushed to give it 8.5 because it is so good.
Yeah,
but actually, if you were being safe,
you know what I just thought of is to me this kind of drinks like a brown ale. Like
it's got that feel.
So like
almost
that's
like an imperial.
That's the beer nerd in me, like OCDing out because you know, I got the certifications here. I'm like, it's not exactly the style, but like, yeah, I would say this is really tasty, really drinkable. I don't know if it's gonna be. This is my receipt from the beer store. It was $7 for this bottle.
I was just about to ask you actually, how much did you pay for yours?
That's kind of expensive, so I wouldn't buy it all the time. If it was like a 500 ml or like a 750 ml or something like that, then that would be a better deal. But yeah, I would definitely. This reminds me of like a Christmas beer. I'll probably grab another one around Christmas.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Belgian beers can have that feel. Certainly doubles.
Yeah,
they certainly have that sort of Christmas thing because you do get that sort of dark fruit and you get that bit of spice in there and that, and they're big on ABV. They're comforting, and they, you know, some rubbish on the TV, and you put your feet up, and you know, fall asleep with one of these in your hands or something.
How much did you pay? Do you remember?
Yes, £3.10.
Okay. Anyway, we're going super long. I'm going to do a podcast with Barry, so check that out. I'm sure there's a link up here, down there, somewhere. So thanks, Barry, for doing the review, and I will see you for the podcast in a minute. So
good man.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yep.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's beer reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.